It is 7:43 on a Wednesday morning. Wei is 51. He is on the MRT, phone in hand, heading to work, same as everyone else in that carriage. Except Wei is not checking messages. He is looking at a number that arrived at 6:15 while he was making kopi at home. 480 Singapore dollars, credited to his account. He did not wake up for it. He did nothing for it. Today we go through every level of that second income, what each one costs to build, what it actually buys in Singapore in 2026, and what it feels like to live inside it. Not because 500 solves anything. In Singapore, $500 is 12 GrabFood orders with delivery fee, or slightly less than a month of hawker meals. On its own, it does not change your life, but it solves the right problem. Noor is 34, takes home 4,200 a month after CPF. She saves, around 250 most months. But her money does one thing. It waits in a savings account at 2% and loses ground to inflation. What Noor has not noticed is that her automatic outflows total just above $400 every month. Transport card, 120. Insurance premium, 160. Phone plan, streaming subscriptions, a random medical bill. She is not spending carelessly. She is spending automatically. $500 of passive income covers all of it. Every automatic exit. Every background cost that drains her salary before she notices. The $80 left over goes back into the portfolio. That is not freedom. But it is the first time Noor's money moves in both directions. The portfolio needed approximately $110,000 at a blended yield of 5.5%. S-REITs paying 5 to 7%, DBS and OCBC paying 4.5 to 5.5%, a mixed portfolio landing at 5.5%. 110,000 sounds distant until you calculate the path. $200 a month into a regular savings plan at 6% for 15 years gets Noor there. Not a windfall, a standing instruction and time. Open POSB Invest Saver or OCBC Blue Chip Investment Program. Set the minimum monthly amount, $100. Pick one instrument, Nikko AMS TI ETF or an S-REIT ETF. The date matters more than the amount. $1,000 a month is not enough to stop working, but it is enough to change what stopping would feel like. Jason is 42, engineering manager in Bishan. 8 years ago, he started buying the Nikko AMS TI ETF through POSB Invest Saver, $300 a month. Added DBS shares when the price dipped, opened an SRS account and put in $15,300 every December, invested into Singapore REITs the same day. Today, his portfolio is $230,000, blended yield just above 5%. Every month, roughly $1,000 arrives. Last year, his company restructured. His department was under review for 3 months. Every person in that office was watching the calendar, managing up, working longer. Jason was doing some of that, but he was not panicking. Not because he had 12 months of savings, because he had $1,000 a month that was not attached to his employer in any way. It was arriving regardless of what that company decided. That is what $1,000 of passive income buys. Not luxury, a floor. The knowledge that the worst realistic outcome, losing your job, is survivable without destroying everything. The portfolio, $240,000 at 5.5%. Check if your SRS account is actually invested. As of December 2024, 19% of all SRS funds in Singapore are sitting in cash at 0.05%. If you opened an SRS account and left the money there, log in today. Move it into Singapore savings bonds or an S-REIT ETF. That single action on money you already saved is worth thousands of dollars a year. $2,000 a month already exceeds what CPF Life pays. The CPF Life Standard Plan at the full retirement sum of $220,400 in 2026 pays approximately $1,780 a month from age 65. That is the government's official retirement plan. $2,000 a month in passive income, built from your own investments outside CPF before 65, means you have already exceeded it. Amira is 48. She bought a 4-room HDB in Bedok 15 years ago. Mortgage is paid. She owns it outright. 12 years of RSP across an S-REIT ETF and OCBC shares. Not trading, not timing the market, today generates just over $2,000 a month. Her total monthly costs come to $1,190. The remaining $810 goes back into the portfolio. If Amira stopped working tomorrow, she would not live a comfortable life, but she would not be anxious. There is a difference worth naming. Anxiety requires not knowing if the number will be there. Hers will be there, every month. Here's what most people building toward this level miss. Amira does not have $435,000 in one brokerage account. She has $220,000 in REITs and blue chips, $50,000 in her SRS account in the STI ETF, and $160,000 across CPFOA and SA, earning 2.5% to 4%. The blended yield across all three pools reaches 5.5%. Her $2,000 a month comes from a system, not an account. Log in to cpf.gov.sg and go to your retirement dashboard. Check the projected CPF Life payout at 65. Then check your SRS account. Is the money invested or sitting in cash? Then check your brokerage. Are dividends being reinvested automatically? 3 accounts, 3 checks, 1 afternoon. This is the audit that reveals whether you have a system or just a hope. $3,000 a month is the first level where work becomes a choice, not a necessity. The Singlife Financial Freedom Index, surveying 3,000 Singaporeans in 2024, found the median answer to how much do you need per month in retirement was $2,856. $3,000 is $144 above what the average Singaporean says they need. Raj is 53. Project manager in Tampines. 8 years ago, he made one decision that looked strange at the time. After his kids left home, he and his wife sold their condo in Pasir Ris and moved back into a smaller HDB flat. The downgrade released $420,000 in cash. He deployed it across S-REITs and Singapore blue chips over 3 years. Did not time the market, spread it quarterly and left it alone. Today, that portfolio generates $3,100 a month. When his company went through a leadership change 3 months ago, new management, new culture, the kind of shift that makes experienced people update their LinkedIn, Raj watched it happen calmly. When a younger colleague asked how he was handling the uncertainty, Raj said, "I have no obligations to this job. I come because I want to." That sentence is worth $3,000 a month to say. Most people in Singapore cannot say it at 53. $3,000 covers everything for a couple who own their home. Hawker food and 1 restaurant dinner a week, transport for 2, utilities and insurance, 1 regional trip a year. Bali for a long weekend costs around $800 for 2, $67 a month amortized. Total spend under $2,000. The remaining $1,000 plus goes back into the portfolio. The portfolio, $655,000 at 5.5%, spread across REITs and blue chips, SRS in CSPX, and CPFOA and SA. 3 pools, 1 yield, 1 number. If you have ever considered downsizing your property, run this one calculation first. Take the estimated cash proceeds after CPF refund. Put that number into a 5.5% yield calculator and see what monthly income it generates. Most people never run this number. The ones who do are frequently surprised. $5,000 a month is the line where employment becomes optional. At $5,000 a month in passive income, you are earning more passively than 80% of employed Singaporeans earn actively. MOM's 2025 data puts the 80th income percentile at approximately $5,200 take home. $5,000 of passive income delivers you to the same neighborhood without the job. Linda is 47, retail management in Jurong West through her 30s, logistics operations from 40. Her income never exceeded $6,000 a month. Savings rate, 40% of take home every month for 12 years. Deployed into two instruments, CSPX for global growth, Singapore REITs for income. No trading, no market timing. An RSP she increased every time she got a raise. At 47, her portfolio is $1.1 million. She draws at 4.5%, $4,950 a month, by selling a small number of CSPX units quarterly. The portfolio continues growing even as she draws. Linda still consults 2 days a week. Not because she needs the income. The passive income already covers her one-bedroom condo in Queenstown at $3,200 a month. Food, transport, a Japan trip every November, and private healthcare. The consulting pays for what she enjoys, not what she requires. At $3,000, you make decisions. Private clinic or polyclinic? Economy or premium economy? Renovate the bathroom this year or next? At $5,000, those questions stop. You book the flight when you want to go. You see the private GP without calculating whether the $300 consultation fits the budget. CSPX is domiciled in Ireland. The dividend withholding tax on US stocks held through an Irish fund is 15%, not 30%. On a $1 million portfolio generating 1.5% in dividends, that difference saves $2,250 a year, and it costs nothing to implement. It is just which ETF ticker you buy. If your RSP is going into VOO, switch to CSPX or VWRA. Same underlying assets, lower tax drag. $10,000 a month is the level where Singapore stops feeling expensive. Not because prices change. Chicken rice is still $4.50 at Maxwell. Kopi C is still $1.60. But at $10,000 a month, those prices are not something you think about. You order what you want. The monthly total is something your accountant tracks. $10,000 a month places you above the top 20% of all working Singaporeans, without working. MOM's data shows you need $11,550 gross per month to enter that bracket. $10,000 of passive income delivers you there without the performance review. Wei is the same Wei from the MRT this morning. He is not at $10,000. He is at level 1, $480 a month, built over 12 years from a $300 RSP and an SRS account he opened on a quiet Sunday afternoon. The first dividend credit was $42. He reinvested it and forgot about it. But he shared his screen once with Hafiz. 61. Retired early 3 years ago. 30 years of SRS contributions, blue chip dividends, Singapore REITs, and a CSPX position started in his mid-40s. Portfolio today, $2.6 million. Monthly income, $10,400. Hafiz lives in a 3-bedroom condo in Holland Village at $6,000 a month. Maxwell on weekdays, Dempsey Hill on weekends. Business class to London twice a year. Private GP in Gleneagles. No car. Grab costs him $400 a month. Total monthly spend, $8,400. The remaining $2,000 go back into the portfolio. What $10,000 solves that $5,000 does not is specific. Singapore's medical inflation is running at 16.9% in 2026, the highest in Asia Pacific, according to WTW's survey of 346 health insurers across 82 countries. The average monthly cost of long-term care for a severely disabled elderly person is $2,952. CareShield Life pays $689. The monthly gap is $2,263 every month for however many years a disability lasts. At $5,000 a month, that gap is a serious problem. At $10,000, it is a line item. Log in to MOH Health Hub today. Open your integrated shield plan details. Find specifically what it covers for long-term care versus acute hospitalization. One covers the operation. The other needs to cover the decade that follows it. If you do not have a CareShield Life supplement, get a quote today. At Singapore's medical inflation rate, this is the most expensive gap most people are not covering. Most Singaporeans at zero passive income are not as far from level 1 as they think. They just have their money in the wrong places. SRS funds in cash at 0.05%. One transfer to an S-REIT ETF changes that to 5.5%. A voluntary CPF SA top-up of $8,000 at 43 is worth $11,800 at 53 from compounding alone. Not a new investment. A form on cpf.gov.sg that takes 11 minutes. The Ministry of Finance reported 466,849 SRS account holders as of December 2024. Singapore's working citizen and PR population is approximately 2.4 million. 80% of working Singaporeans have never opened an SRS account. The annual cap is $15,300. In the 18% tax bracket, that is $2,754 of immediate tax saving before the money earns a single cent. Wei never earned more than $7,000 a month. He had a standing RSP, an SRS account topped up every November, a CPF SA he fed every January, and 12 years of not touching any of it. His Wednesday morning on the MRT is the result of a Thursday afternoon, 12 years ago, when nothing was urgent, nobody was watching, and he opened a browser tab and set up a standing instruction. That Thursday is available every week. $500 a month is the first proof that the system works. $10,000 is what happens when you never stop. What does your Thursday afternoon look like this week? If this video helped you see your Wednesday morning differently, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with one person who needs to hear it. The next video is already in the description.